They say doing hard things builds resilience. So I decided to put that theory to the test, and I did ice baths for 50 days straight. And this is what I learned. You may be surprised by the results, so stick around. So you may ask yourself, why ice baths? There's been a lot of hype around ice baths lately on the internet. You've probably seen somebody recently on your timeline doing an ice bath or some sort of cold exposure. Well, that's for good reason, because experts claim it has many, many benefits. For example, it boosts mental clarity, it reduces inflammation, and it can even strengthen your immune system. So those are 3 good points right there, but there's many more as well. So I had to test it out for myself. I wanted to see if the hype was real. So I tried it, I set out for 50 days, and I completed 50 days straight. So let's go all the way back to day number 1. So I got an actual ice bath set up. I just got one of those vinyl tubs, and I hooked a chiller up to it. So that way it's always cold when I get into it. I had done them in the past where I just used ice, but that was way too inconvenient that there's no way you could stick to it just doing ice. You got to get a chiller. So go ahead, get the chiller. I know it's kind of expensive, but it works. And let's just say that first week, it was brutal. And honestly, the whole entire 50 days was brutal. But it does get easier, I promise. That first week, my body was screaming, hey, get out. As soon as I got in, every time, get out. But as soon as you're in there for a couple minutes, maybe 2 minutes max, your body gets used to that cold weather. And then it's a lot easier to sit in there. It don't take long for your body to adapt. And as you'll notice, the more you take them, the quicker your body will adapt to that cold. So it didn't take my body long at all. Maybe a week tops for my body to really get used to the cold. And I forgot to mention, I had my chiller set at 50 degrees. So for these 50 days, I did it at 50 degrees. That's Fahrenheit. I'll put on the screen what it is, 50 degrees Celsius right here. But yeah, I put it at 50 degrees and it sucked. The first week, it was pretty bad. I wanted to get out and it was tough. But literally after that first week, it was so much easier to sit in the ice bath. Like it got easy really quick. Like it does not take your body long to adjust to that, to build up to it. You just got to focus on your breath when you get in. Like when you get in, it's going to knock the breath out of you almost. You're going to be breathing very fast, almost like hyperventilating. You're going to be breathing fast. It's going to want to take your breath away. But you just got to focus on your breathing. Try deep breaths, deep breaths. If you've heard of Wim Hof, he has some breathing techniques that you can use. I didn't do that. I just kind of breathe myself. But all you got to do, try to slow your breathing down, deep breaths, and you'll calm yourself back down. The more relaxed, the more calm you can be, the better it's going to be. So, and you'll notice the more you do them, the less it kind of takes your breath away. So like by the end, it didn't even take my breath away. Like I could get in no problem, and I wasn't breathing hard at all because my body just got used to it. Now I mentioned it was brutal the whole 50 days, but I just said it got easier as it went along. Well, the actual part of getting in the ice bath, like the actual cold exposure and the taking your breath away, that part got easier. And yes, it was easy. It does not take your body long at all to adapt to the cold weather. The part that was brutal, that sucked every day, was I was doing it in the morning. First thing in the morning because I go to the gym before I go to work. So I was doing it in the morning before I go to the gym. I was doing it at like 4:30 a.m. in the morning. And the brutal part is having to wake up, get out of your warm, cozy bed, and go hop into a tub of freezing cold water. That's brutal. Try to convince yourself to do it. I promise you, it's a lot harder than you think. But it did get easier. The more I got used to it, the more I knew it wasn't going to suck as bad. So I could convince myself to get in it easier. But every day, I still had to convince myself to get in it. It wasn't like I just got up and was like, oh, let's go get an ice bath. No, it was never like that. It was like, as soon as I woke up, first thing I thought, oh man, I got to get an ice bath again. But you do start to like it afterwards. Like once you get out, you're happy that you did it. Like you're not mad that you got an ice bath because it just, the amount of endorphins and dopamine that you get from getting in it is insane. Like we'll get more into the benefits I got from it later on. I don't want to ruin all that for now, so you gotta stay to the end. But yeah, the actual physical part of getting in the ice bath was easier on your body. It didn't shock your body as much, and it definitely got easier. And your body got used to the cold temperature. It got used to it over like a week. But the fact of like having to wake up out of your warm bed and get in the cold every single morning, that part never got easier. It was still hard. It took me like 10 to 15 minutes the first few days to get into it. I had to convince myself to get in there. But then as I got going and it got easier, it took me less and less time to like convince myself to get in the ice bath every day, especially since it was winter. So it's also cold outside. So I'm walking outside in my underwear and it's like 38 degrees outside. And then I have to get in the freezing cold water as well. It was kind of tough to get in it. But once I was in it, I was fine. Like it didn't bother me once I got in it. It actually was not as cold inside the water as it was outside. So it really wasn't that bad once I got in. I just had to convince myself to actually do it, to actually get in. It's kind of tough. And if you've done it before, you know what I'm talking about. So by the time week 2 rolled around, I was rocking and rolling. I started out at 3 minutes. By the time week 2 rolled around, I was already doing up to 5 minutes in the morning. And then in the afternoon, if I did like a long run that day, I would get in it after my long run. I would do it even more, like 10 to 15 minutes after a long run. I didn't do it that long in the morning. And there's a reason why I didn't do it that long in the morning. Well, one, most of the experts say you only need 3 to 5 minutes to really get like the mental benefits and the mental clarity from it. That's all you need in the morning. But another reason you don't want to do it longer in the morning is because the more you stay in there, like the colder your body gets and the colder your muscles get. So you will get stiff after a while being in there. So you don't want to get like super cold and super stiff and then go and work out, because then you got to warm your body back up and loosen back up, and it may take you longer and it could lead to injury. So honestly, and if you're going to do it in the morning before workout, 3 to 5 minutes is all you need to get like the benefits from it. So I wouldn't do any more. Now, if you want to do more after your workout for recovery purposes, like to reduce the inflammation, then yeah, you can do more. I would do up to 10. I probably wouldn't do any more than 10. I did it up to 15 minutes a couple times, and I didn't see any more benefit from doing it 15 minutes than doing it for 10. I was just wasting time at that point. But I mean, you can experiment with your times yourself and see what works for you. But I will say, be careful staying in it for longer, because I did notice, this is one thing that I learned from doing, is the longer you stay in it, which this makes sense, the longer you stay in it, the longer it takes for your body to heat back up. Like the longer you will shiver after. So that's one of the side effects. When you get out, your body's cold, it's going to shiver. So when you shiver, that's like your body's natural way of heating itself back up. That's your body like trying to warm yourself, your internal temperature back up. If I did it for 3 minutes, I wouldn't really shiver at all. Like I would shiver a little bit after, but it wouldn't take long. If I did it for 5 minutes, there was a noticeable difference of the length of shivering. If I did it for 10 minutes, then I definitely noticed the length. It's like I was shivering for like 30 minutes after getting out of it, if I did it for 10 minutes. And then if I did it for 15 minutes, I mean, I was shivering for like an hour after, a very long time. Now, I will say I wasn't getting in the shower after. I was naturally heating myself back up. So I would just put some clothes back on and let my body heat itself back up. So that's one thing. You don't want to like warm yourself right back up afterwards, because that kind of defeats the purpose of the ice bath. You don't get all the benefits from it. So you want to let your body naturally heat itself back up. That way you get kind of like the metabolism benefits and stuff from it. I mean, you can get in the shower after if you want to, but you may be losing out on some of those extra benefits. So I always let myself naturally heat back up. And that's why it took a long time sometimes. But just be cautious of this, because if you get in too cold of water for too long, you could potentially get like hypothermia or something like that. So just be careful when you do it. Start low and work your way up. Don't just start off with 10, 15 minutes. It's going to be too much for you. And don't start with the water super cold. Like start with 50 degrees and then work your way down. So we'll get into some of the benefits that I saw, and we'll just go over each one like that they claim to get and see, and I'll tell you my personal experience. So first and foremost, improve recovery. That's the main one you see, like reduce inflammation, improve recovery. Did I see this? Honestly, I didn't see a huge difference after this. I mean, I was doing it before my workouts, so I wasn't necessarily doing it for recovery. Now, I did do it after my workouts when I did running. So if I did for my weightlifting, I would do it before, but when I did running, I would do it after. So I think I did see a little bit of recovery from after my long runs, but really it wasn't a major drastic difference, and I really wasn't running too far at this point, so my body really didn't get that sore. So I could say, yeah, there was definitely a little bit of improved recovery, but not nothing drastic, not nothing more than like foam rolling, stretching, things like that. So I wouldn't say it's like a major difference, but it can help, especially for those really, really long runs when you're really tearing your muscles down. It could be good for that. The next benefit is mental toughness. Absolutely, I saw benefits for mental toughness. It definitely made me more mentally tough and mentally disciplined. Like I said, getting out of your warm bed in the morning, hopping straight into some cold, it sucked. It was tough, but I got better at it as it went on. Like I said, it took me like 10 minutes at first to convince myself to get in the ice bath. And then before long, I was just walking outside saying, okay, I got to get it done regardless. Let me just get in, and I'll get right in and get out. Like, I definitely built up some mental toughness for sure. And it's a different type of mental toughness. It's hard to explain. You kind of have to experience it for yourself. But it definitely makes other things easier throughout your day. So like you start off your day very hard, like do the ice bath hard, go and work out in the morning before your day gets started. The rest of your day is just so much more easy. Like so much, like you don't even think about things, overthink things. You just say, okay, all right, already, this ain't even hard compared to what I did this morning. So it does make the rest of your day a little bit smoother, it seems like. Number 3, better mood. Absolutely, you're definitely in a better mood. When you get out of the ice bath, your body releases happy hormones, happy endorphins. It's basically dopamine. So if you're familiar with dopamine, it's like the happy chemicals that your body releases, and you feel good. So I like to compare it to that feeling you get when you leave the gym. So like, say for example, you went to the gym, you worked out. When you leave, you're not in a bad mood. You're not mad. You're not angry. Like most of the time when you leave, you're pretty happy and you're glad that you went to the gym. Like you don't leave the gym saying, "Dang, I wish I wouldn't have came to the gym today." Like you've probably never said that. I haven't. Maybe you have. I hadn't. But I compare the ice bath to that same feeling. Like when you leave, you feel good about yourself. You're like, I just did that, worked out, did something productive, did something healthy. You get that same feeling when you got the ice bath. Like when you get in, you're like, oh man, this is gonna suck. But by the time you get out, you're like, ooh, I feel kind of good, And it wakes you up immediately. Like, wakes you up. You don't even need a cup of coffee in the morning. You hop in that cold water. When you get out, man, you're wide awake. You ain't got to worry about going back to sleep. You ain't going back to sleep. You're wide awake. It really wakes you up, puts you in a better mood, and you're ready to go. Like, you're ready to attack the day. You're ready to get going. It definitely makes you in a better mood for sure. The next one, deeper sleep. Honestly, I didn't notice any difference in my sleep. I really didn't. I'm not saying it don't help your sleep. I'm not saying it does. I just personally didn't experience any better sleep. Again, like I was taking them at like 4:30 in the morning. So I don't know if that may be what. Maybe you need to take an ice bath before you go to sleep. I don't know. I didn't do that. So I can't speak on that. So those are kind of like the main benefits. They do say it can boost your metabolism. Honestly, I didn't see no difference in my metabolism. I already have pretty fast metabolism as it is. So I didn't experience any metabolism differences. I'm trying to think some other things. There's even some claims that it can burn brown fat. I'll be honest, like I didn't lose no weight getting in here. I'm not overweight, but I'm definitely not like super skinny either. Can't say that the ice bath made me lose any weight. So I don't see that one either. Maybe it does over a long period of time. I don't know, but I can't confirm that one myself. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much all the benefits I saw from it is better mood. It wakes you right up in the morning. It creates discipline and mental toughness for sure, and improved recovery. So that's 5 good things that I would say I got out of it for sure. Now, all the other things, I'm not saying they didn't work, but I'm also not saying they did work because I specifically, personally didn't see the benefits from it. So it's kind of one of those things to me. I feel like if you think it works, it works. Like if you convince yourself, hey, this just did that, then most time it's true. Like you can convince yourself that it works. But yeah, so like depending on what your goals are with it, you're gonna have to try it out and see if it works for you. And honestly, some people just don't like the cold. Trust me, I'm not a cold person. I don't like the cold either. But you do adapt to it. So I will say, give it a chance. Like you gotta actually give it at least like a full week, 2 weeks to really give it a chance. Because it's gonna suck. Like it's still gonna suck after a week, after 2 weeks. But you gotta really commit and really go in to really see these benefits. And I feel like it's one of those things like the more you do it, the more benefits you see from it. So you can't just do it for a week and be like, it don't work. I didn't see no benefits. Well, you only did it for a week. That's just like working out. You work out for a week, you're probably not gonna see any benefits. So it's something you got to do for a long time, I feel like, to get the benefits from it. And the more you do it, the more you'll see, okay, yeah, it is helping me in this area, or it is doing that. So definitely give it a try. Don't just give up after a week. Honestly, I wouldn't even give up after a month. Like I think you try it for longer than a month. If you do that and you're still not seeing no benefits from it, then hey, maybe it's just not for you and you ain't got to do it. And honestly, I'll be honest, I don't think I'm going to do them every day. Like after I did these 50 days, I haven't been doing them every day. I only do them when I feel like I need to do them or want to do them. So I still have my ice bath set up so I can get in it whenever I want to, but I'm probably not going to get in it every single morning. Only some mornings or after my long training runs, things like that. So you just kind of have to figure out what works for you. So if I had to answer the question, what was the biggest lesson I learned during these 50 days? Well, I would have to say is that discipline and consistency is a superpower. You got to have those two in anything you do in your life, and you will come out on top. You will be successful. So these are the 2 key things that you need to build each and every day. And that applies to literally everything. Everything you do, it applies to that. The ice bath became a daily reminder that I can do hard things. I can push myself. I can do things I don't necessarily want to do and overcome it and be successful with it as long as I commit and be disciplined, be consistent. Those small things, those uncomfortable moments, they add up to bigger and better things. So you just got to stick to it to see it through to the end. I feel like a lot of people give up too soon. They just quit. Because I ain't gonna lie, I was gonna quit after 30 days. Like my goal was 30 days, and then I'm gonna do this video that I'm doing now. Well, when I got to 30 days, I was like, well, I don't want to stop. I'm already at 30. Let me keep going. So I was like, I'm just going to keep going until I decide I'm going to stop. And then I got to 50 and it was like the new year. It just happened to be New Year. So I was like, all right, I think I can stop now. So I quit. I didn't do it one day. And now I'm not trying to do it every single day. But yeah, it just builds up. It just builds up that mental toughness, the discipline, the consistency, and I believe in habit stacking. So like I'd already had the habit of getting up and working out or getting up and running in the morning. So now getting up and doing the ice bath was just another habit that I stacked onto that, and now I can use that for the rest of my life. Like I can use that habit. I can use it for the benefits and use it to test me, to challenge my mental toughness. So if I ever get in like a slump, I'm gonna do that again. Like if I ever get in a slump, if I'm not want to work out, lose motivation, I'm gonna do something like the ice bath challenge to get myself back in momentum, get myself back in that rhythm, to challenge myself, to push myself. Because like I say, if you get in it first thing in the morning, boom, you checked it off, you ready to go for the day, and it's like a mental check. Like you're like, okay, boom, did my ice bath. Now I gotta go to the gym. Now I gotta knock that out. So it's kind of like a little mental challenge you can use. So I'll definitely use it like that in the future if I ever get in a slump. I need to get out of something. So that'll be something I can look forward to and something I know I can utilize to my advantage. So would I recommend taking ice baths for 50 days straight? Absolutely. Yes, I would. And it's for all the reasons I just talked about. It's a challenge. It's going to challenge you. It's going to make you create discipline. It's going to make you create consistency. And it's going to make you do hard things that you don't want to do. And doing it just for this one thing, like something as simple as taking an ice bath, that's going to roll over into other aspects of your life. Like you're going to see yourself showing up at work more. You're going to see yourself showing up for your family more, showing up for your kids more. You're going to be more consistent. You're going to build that discipline. And once you build discipline in one area, it rolls over into every other aspect of your life. It's kind of like that quote that you've heard before. The way you do one thing is the way you do everything. It's just like that quote. So yeah, if you want to challenge yourself, one, if you just want like a mental challenge, definitely try it. But two, if you want to see any of these benefits, yes, definitely absolutely try them. See if it works for you. I mean, it's not going to hurt you. Like what could it do? As long as you're doing it safe, you're not going to get hurt. So you might as well try it. I would suggest just start slow and listen to your body. So like maybe don't start with the water down at 39 degrees. Start with it up closer to 50 or even more. You can even start at like 55. Something that's just cold when you get in. If it's cold to you, then that's a good place to start. And don't start with 15 minutes. I would start at 3. Start at 3 minutes and stay there for a while. Then once you get used to it, go up to 4 minutes. Get used to that. Go up to 5. And then honestly, you don't even really need to do it for more than 5 minutes. Sometimes I was even in there by like 4:20. Like as soon as I got out, I grabbed my towel and I went outside and got in it. So yeah, it definitely wakes you up. That's the main benefit that I saw from it that I liked. Oh yeah, let me throw this out there. I don't know if this is just a coincidence, but this did happen. Literally the day after I stopped getting in the ice bath, when my 50 days was over, I literally got sick the next day. Now it could be coincidence. It could be. I don't know. But it's very odd timing that I was doing ice baths for 50 days, then I quit doing them, and then all of a sudden I got sick. So that may be another benefit there. Like I've heard that it definitely helps with your body's immune system and getting sick. And then of course I didn't do it and I got sick. So I don't know. Maybe that's just coincidence, but that did happen. That's a true story. I'm not making that up. So yeah, thank y'all for coming along this chilly journey for me. I got many more ice baths in my near future. What about you? If you're going to do one or if you've done them in the past, let me know down in the comments. I want to know how long you stay in it, what temperature you do it at, so that way we can all kind of learn from each other down there in the comments. I'd appreciate it. If you like the video, drop me one of these. Subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate it. I got more fitness, health, ultra marathon, Ironman content coming your way. So see y'all in the next one.